Hey Bayek, it's me Ian. And in today's video, well, I'm continuing my look at classic Doctor Who. And we're on the Peter Davison era. So this is Frontios from 1984. Previously, we'd had The Awakening. And the next one will be Resurrection of the Daleks. And this is season 21, and it's the third story. And it comprises of 4 episodes, which were transmitted the 26th of January to the 3rd of February 1984. It's written by Christopher H. Bidmead, who previously had written Logopolis, 1981, and Castrovalva, 1982. Brilliant stories. I really love those stories. They're really unusual kind of stories as well in some ways. Brilliant stories. The music is, as usual, by Paddy Kingsmead. And it's directed by Ron Jones. Now, he directed Black Orchid, 1982, Time Flight, 1982, Arc of Infinity, 1983, Vengeance on Varos, 1985, Mind Warp, 1986, which was the second story in the trial of the Time Lord, parts 5 to 8. The script editor is Eric Sayward, and it's produced by John Nathan Turner. This is a studio-bound story, no locations. And again, you've got to say that, particularly as they didn't have a great deal of time as usual, always under pressure for time, they produce a brilliant studio-bound story. Brilliant set designs as always. Absolutely. You think of the pressure they are under. Very little time for rehearsals, often no rehearsals, and the actors just have to get on with it. That's how it is. It's a very strict schedule. So let's get into the cast. We got Peter Davison, who plays the 5th Doctor. We've got Janet Fielding as Tegan. Mark Strickson, who plays Turlo. And then we've got Jeff Rall, who plays Plantagenet. Now, he was well known for playing Billy Liar from 1973 to 1974. 26 episodes of the TV series of Billy Liar. He was also in the Sarah Jane Adventures in 2009, so that's an obvious Doctor Who link there. But he's in a lot of TV series and TV films. Then we've got another face on television that you would recognise, Peter Gilmore, who plays Brazen. Peter Gilmore was just so well known in terms of the O'Needin line, which ran between 1971 to 1980. There were 91 episodes, and it was a massive hit for the BBC. Massive series. And interestingly enough, he was in 9 Carry On films, which began in Carry On Cabby in 1963. So he had quite a series of appearances in in the Carry On films. He was also in the abominable Doctor Vibes from 1971, which is a brilliant film with Vincent Price. Oh, what a film that is. In fact, there's two of them as well. But he's in that one. Then we've got Leslie Dunlop, who plays Nornan. She, in fact, appears in the Sylvester McCoy Seventh Doctor story, The Happiness Patrol from 1984. She again is in a lot of TV series and TV films, and apparently she's a regular in Emmerdale between 2008 to this year, 2025. It says she plays Brenda. I don't know. I don't watch the series soap opera, but apparently she's big in that. Established and just left this year. Then we've got William Lucas, who plays Range. Now, he was in X the Unknown, 1956, Hammer Sci-Fi. He was in Crack in the Mirror, 1960. He was in Night of the Big Eat, 1967, which has Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee in. Oh, yes. It's a sci-fi story, really. Then he's got Tower of Evil, 1972, which he's involved in. And then, I say, lots of TV series and TV films. Yes. Now, just some more background on this story. The designer, Barry Dobbins, died before production could get going. Just before. And it was revealed, sadly, later that he committed suicide. And he'd been hired, Peter Arn, to to play Mr. Range, and he was murdered. So we've got quite a bad start to the production of this story. All this going on, as you can imagine, the pressure of that. It was, quite a thing, and particularly Doctor Who with all its schedules, the pressure, absolutely amazing. So William Lucas, who played Range, just had to get in and do the role, because there's no time to mess about at all. Now, I think another important part as well is to say that when this story was being produced, it was announced that Colin Baker would be taking over as the new Doctor. Yes, so we've got the background to that. Peter Davison sadly was leaving, and he has talked about his regrets. I don't think he really wanted to leave, but he felt that his advice had been given to just do 3 seasons or series of Doctor Who, and that's what he did. I wish he'd have stayed on. I'd love to have seen him carry on, because this is a really good era of stories, and I think he's great in the role. I think he's somebody that's very underrated in particularly. I think now he's more valued, but when I say underrated over the years as I've known Peter Davison, but look, these stories have been so good, and it's just a shame that he didn't stay. Um, so, what is this about? I've drifted off. What is this story about? It's a good sci-fi story, I would say that definitely. And I like the fact that it's a sci-fi story. But of course, it has to have a monster in it, as they do. We might come back to that in a minute. Anyhow, it's set in the far future, and that's really good. It's sort of the end of time. And on this planet Frontios, we have the last, oh yes, the last of the humans left. Wow, that is really set in the far future. And basically, they're struggling for survival. Um, because this planet has it's been bombarded by all these meteorites, but they're also been, well, they can enslaved. I think that's the word to use. Enslaved by these aliens called Gravis, and they have to mine this planet. The aim being that this planet, as you do, will be used by the Gravis as a spaceship. Oh, wow. We do get that story. I've heard of it before, but there we are. They get these ideas and they think, yeah, I'll go get them done and we'll turn planet into a spaceship like you do. Yeah. Brilliant stuff. Just great Doctor Who. Absolutely love it. And that is the story. The Doctor arrives as usual, and they get involved in all the goings on here. And again, Tegan, I think, is great. I'm not being a big fan of Turlough, but I think he's okay in this. He's okay. I was just saying that, and mind you, he's getting nearer his departure anyhow of the series. But and sadly Tegan as well. In fact, the next episode is Tegan will be leaving, which I when I see her, I just think, oh, I think she's been really good. She wasn't everybody's favourite at all, but as a character, Tegan is just great. But I'll probably say a bit more next week when she's leaving. I think again we do have these aliens, the more rubber monster kind of aliens, but a step up from some that we may have had. They still look that, but some would say, well, it wouldn't be Doctor Who, would it, without these aliens? They do move around a bit, a bit more action with them, but they're there, they're all right. They're all right for Doctor Who standards. Yeah, they're not bad. So that is sort of what it's about in terms of the story. And what do I think of it? I think it's just another enjoyable story, and I think even when you have things like all that is in the background that has been going on, I mean that is quite a lot of things, going on. It's still it still has the power to, because if you've got a good story, the story, I think it is a good story, and actors who give their best, sometimes maybe a bit over the top, but it's still very entertaining, and Peter Davison is great. I feel kind of that I wish he'd have done more. I think he's really into the role. There's so many good things about him in this story. I love it. I do. Now, it was released in a VHS box set with The Awakening in 1997. And the DVD was released in 2011. And season 21 hasn't had a Blu-ray release yet, but I'm sure it may well come, even maybe this year. We haven't had much announcements about what's happening, but it seems a logical thing to me that this is, if they release this we will have all the Peter Davison stories on Blu-ray. But we'll see what happens. But I would say there's a good chance it will be released on Blu-ray. Yeah. So that's it. That's my assessment. But I always say before I go, we'll just have a look at this DVD. There's the DVD. There's the back. And we've got a few extras on there. The documentary, as usual, is very good. Really enjoyed the documentary. Here we've got a nice illustrated disc. That's nice. And we've got this nice little leaflet, which I like these little leaflets. They give you a bit of information. They're just a nice addition to this. I always point this out, but they're quite nice. And I think that's it. Yes. That's it. Hope you've enjoyed it. I've always loved doing these because just watching Doctor Who is just fantastic. I never ever get tired of classic Doctor Who. Classic is always the best for me. Definitely. Always. Better than anything that's ever been in the modern era. Haha, controversial. But yes, I do love classic Doctor Who. Even when it's not as good, it's still brilliant to me. Anyhow, if you're new to my channel, hope you've enjoyed it, and please subscribe. And if you subscribe, you can look in the playlist and you'll see all the previous Doctor Who episodes that I've reviewed. But you'll see that I review a lot of films and TV series and sometimes a bit of music and collecting sort of stuff, vibes, all that kind of stuff, retro. Yeah, have a look. You might find something that you might enjoy. And also, if you like this video, please give the video a like. If you give it a like, it gets out to YouTube and other people might enjoy it. It's good for the channel, so please do that. And if you have any comments, please put your comments down. I love to read your comments. I'll always reply to them. So that's it. Yes, I've gone on far too long. So all I've got to say is, I'll see thee again.